I appreciate you guys showing up today. And something that we're going to focus on is a subject matter I've actually focused on in the past. I haven't done it since the old studio, but I started watching something called The Sound of Creation. Have you guys heard of this? I've been seeing commercials of it or advertisements of it on YouTube, and it's from that station Gaia. And Gaia is really, it started as a yoga-based company, and now it's metaphysical, and they have their own kind of like TV like station, I guess you could say. You can hook up with their channel, and they have things like ancient civilizations, all kinds of stuff about yoga, things to do with psychedelic drugs, UFOs, like any kind of topic like that they're going to be on it. And we started watching something over the weekend called The Sound of Creation. And it wasn't the weekend, it was Thursday night because we had Gabe. I wanted Gabe and Rob to sit with me about this because it's the metaphysics of sound and how sound is vibration. And in the beginning was the word. So the word had to be sound. So basically it's saying, yes, there needs to be an intelligence or thought. But then once it's spoken, there's action to it, and then that is like the beginning of creation. And we are made to be co-creators of that. But basically it was all about sound and how sound can change the shapes of different things, and how not just energy and sound, but if you look, like the brainiacs of the world can look and see that everything is based on mathematics and everything is based on sacred geometry. And what's really fascinating about watching this, and they were showing how, you know, you play certain types of music, if you put sand on a panel and it's being hit by the music or the sound of the drum or whatever, depending on the note, it's going to change the shape of the sand. It actually takes all these like really cool, like kaleidoscope kind of formations. And what I thought was really fascinating about it was there was a couple that moved here from California, and he's a professional drummer. He drums for like tons of people. He's a recording artist, but he also tours, and we had gone out to eat with him. And through the conversation that we were having, we started talking about metaphysics. He found out that I was a Reiki practitioner, and he was like, ooh, I did Reiki in California before I moved here. And we started talking about that, and that's led us into metaphysics. And then he said, oh, then Rob asked him, said, hey, Aaron, like I've noticed you don't use charts when we're recording. How do you not use the charts? And he said, well, and this is not something that he tells people, but he told us at the table, he was like, because I see music in shapes. And I was like, whoa, okay, that's rad, tell me more. And then his wife said, you know, I've been married to him over 20 years, and I just found this out myself. He doesn't talk about it. And so while we were watching that, I'm like, Rob, this is why Aaron sees shapes. He's tapped in, and he's seeing the visual of the audible sound. Anyway, cool. And that was a total diversion, kind of, sort of, about where we're going today. So what we're going to be doing today is I want us to focus on sacred geometry. So there it ties in with the sacred geometry. So in that Sound of Creation is talking about sacred geometry. And we talk about the triangle being one, the pyramid being one, the circle and the sphere being one. And then of course it goes on with all these other shapes. But we're going to talk about the circle today. A circle represents wholeness, completion, eternity, infinity, unity, right? Just even think about a wreath, a wedding band. This isn't a wedding band, but the idea of it is, right? It's circular, it's not linear. It's meant to create that state of union. It's representative of that. And so today what we're going to do is we're going to focus on circles. And we're going to create circles with our body. And then hopefully we'll have time to get into a circle. Because I was thinking the other day how I loved being able to get us in a circle occasionally and do group poses, not partner poses, but group poses, and it's beautiful to see, to witness. It's beautiful to be a part of. And so my plan is to get us there. Okay, so let's go ahead and start our practice in child's pose. So be sitting on your shins, roll down over your lap with your arms wrapped around you, and let your spine create that gentle rounded shape like an egg. So you may be resting on the third eye, the midpoint of the brow. It may be that you're more at your hairline. And just take a moment to connect to your body, to notice how your body feels, to be tuned in to where you're feeling any ailments or concerns or tension, tightness, or even any minor aches and pains, so that you will practice more with compassion when you're targeting those regions. I want you to consider how, if you study Native American tribes, they often had sacred circles for ceremony. How women have been gathering for the full moon or the new moon to create these sacred rituals. Consider how sacred circles build community. They hold space. It's a safe space. It's a circle of trust. And even consider how secular things are, like the seasons and the phases of the moon, and how sometimes in life we tend to circle back to the same people. We circle back to the same places. We may have to circle back to the same experiences in order to learn something new, or to test whether or not we have evolved. So on your next in-breath, go ahead and stretch your arms out in front of you. And when you stretch the arms out in front of you, bring traction to your back, traction underneath the arms. The head may need to lift and slightly hover at that point. So don't force the neck to drop the head if that's uncomfortable for you. Take a deep breath in, side out through the mouth. And now walk your hands over to the right side of the mat. Gently bow back over and down. We're trying to emphasize and open up the side body, open up the side waist, open up the side intercostals. Breathe and inflate that left lung, and then freely exhaust it back out. Next in breath, gently lift up, walk your hands over to the left. The hands can stay shoulder distance apart. I know some people like to stack the hands, and that's okay if you want to stack the hands. But personally, I notice when I stack my hands, I feel like this too much cinching through the shoulders, and it's not always comfortable. So this still allots for that space. Inflating the right lung as you breathe in. And then freely letting it go. On your next in-breath, gently walk the hands back to center. Rock up to your hands and knees and just warm up the spine with the cat-cow. So breathing in into your back bend. Breathing out as you round it out. Inhale, rolling open to Vittalasana, your cow tilt, belly dropping, heart and throat opening. And then on the out breath, you're hollowing out the belly and you're hollowing out the chest. Continue just a couple more rounds, just warming up your spine. and synchronizing that movement with your breath, because that synchronization of breath and movement really helps to bring the magic in to the practice. Then after your next cat stretch, you're gonna have a flat back, reach the right arm forward, open up the palm, slide it back, gaze towards your hand, Hasta Drishti. Inhale, circle that arm all the way up and over, and exhale, slide it back. So now we're starting to bring in the circular movement with the arm, stemming from the shoulder, just to see what range of motion we have. Good, last one to the right. And then flip your left palm open, slide it back in the direction of the feet. Gaze towards your hand as you lift it up and down. And then exhale, gracefully slide it back and just keep that going a few more rounds. If it strains the neck to look towards the hand when it's back behind you, you don't have to turn as much from your neck. Good, last one. And then shift your shins and feet over to one side, bring the legs out in front of you, and you're gonna come down into formation so that we go to abdominal breath flow, which involves bridge pose. So your ankles are gonna stack up underneath your knees, your palms are face down, and as you inhale, the arms are gonna circle overhead as you pressurize the feet, lifting thighs, hips, abdomen, chest. And as you exhale, you're gonna roll down one vertebra at a time, but then when you pick up your feet, your arms circle over so that you can hug in like a cannonball, nose up towards the knees. And then we're gonna begin this flow of movement. Inhale, opening the front body, strengthening the back body. And then as you exhale, stretching the back body and strengthening the front body. And then just continue that movement. Inhaling to bridge. And exhaling into cannonball. Now this is the kind of position that can get a little bit more mechanical, especially when we're using our core muscles. So just make sure your breath is in the lead. I'm gonna find us some music here. Okay, when you're ready, as you roll back down to your spine, and just simply hug your knees into what's called Appanasana. And then from your Appanasana, just being here, allowing the tailbone to lengthen to the front side of the room. Not squeezing too hard. And then last week we did a little rocking and rolling. I don't know if you remember that, but we're going to put the hands up underneath the knees. Now last week we were turning in circles. Right now I just want you to rock and roll forward and back. Maybe try to limit the roll to your head and your neck. Maybe try to limit your feet from landing. It's okay if they do touch. And then start to contract one side of your abdominals, leaning to the same side, and you're going to spin in a circle with your body. It is fun. And then once you face the front, you're going to go the other direction. Continue rocking and rolling. Until you're back at the front. And I just remembered we need a block. So I'm bringing you a block too. That feels really good for the spine. It's a nice massage for the back. When you have your block, you're going to lift up to a bridge position with a block supporting your sacrum. We're not just going to rest because this is a flow class. We're going to lift the left foot, sail the left leg skyward, and start to circle the ankle. And then reverse it. Good, now fly the sole of the foot skyward, spread the toes nice and wide.
The more you activate the foot, you're going to feel the activation of the other muscles through the leg. Keep the action in the foot. Let your leg circle off to the left side, keep the leg straight, dip it down towards the front side of your mat, and then inhale, puff the leg right back up. Exhale, circle around and down. Inhale to the top. So the nice thing about the shoulders and the hips, they do have that ball and socket joints. And then hold the left leg at the top, this variation of elephant pose. And then exhale to send the left foot down. So let's take that to the right. Inhale, right leg lifts. Rotate your ankle. Several times one way. And then take it to the other. Fly the foot up. Splay open through the toes. Pause there. Stay active with this right leg. And then exhale, circle it down and around. Inhale to the top. Good. Exhale down and around. Inhale back up. Doing that a couple more times. And then hold it at the top. Exhale, release the foot. Now tuck and lift. Send the block away. Roll it down to your low back. Curl your knees in. And we're going to try to rock and roll forward to Uttanasana. So when you're ready, swing the feet up. And when the feet land, use your hands behind you to push off the floor, straightening your legs and rolling down to your Uttanasana. You can also be more dangling if you prefer bent knees. Let your head nod. Let your neck unravel. Let your shoulders collapse towards your ears. Just hang like a rag doll here. Maybe emphasizing your exhalations to get more grounded. Stay on that inner quest. On your next in-breath, bring your hands to prayer, but bend your knees. Come up like chair position, like Utkatasana. It doesn't have to be as structured though, because we're gonna set the right hand off to the side with the flexed wrist. We're gonna inhale, circle the arm up, and as we exhale, backstroke and swoop it down. And at the same time, when you're creating these circles, just remember the symbology of completion, wholeness, inclusivity, community, oneness, infinity. Now to the left. Good, and come back to stand, separate your feet, lift the arms up overhead. As we exhale, we're gonna lean to the right. And then we're gonna drop the left shoulder, reach out through the left arm and gaze down. Let go, sweep across the feet. Come up, roll the right shoulder open. Inhale to the top. Exhale to the right. Left shoulder drops, you slightly twist, look down, and then skate across the feet. Come off to the left side, roll the right shoulder back. Inhale to the top. One more. Now at the top, we're going to take it to the left. Drop the right shoulder, gaze down. Sweep across the feet. Off to the right, roll the left shoulder back. Inhale to the top. So now that you know what to do, taking this slower than we sometimes do, just so that you can feel the different muscles that are included. Next time you're at the top, hands to prayer position, bring them down to your heart, and the feet can step closer together. All right, sun salutations, let's cycle through those. Inhale, take the arms up to upward worship. Exhale, fold through the middle. Inhale, we're stepping the right foot back. We're grounding the back heel, stabilizing the leg, circling the right arm up, then the left, and taking this reverse warrior. As we exhale, we're taking it to side angle, propping on the knee. Right arm reaches up, or it can cross over the ear. All right, inhale, lower body stays stable. Feet are cemented and solid to the ground. The upper body is what's mobile. All right, on the next couple, if you want to sink your hand down to the sticky mat in your side angle, you can test the flexibility and ability of the left hip. Now pause here in your side angle and hold it. Drop the top of your right thigh or left thigh slightly more. Roll open through your chest. Form that relationship with your breath. And become that fountain of boundless energy and power that you are. Spin off the back heel. Separate your hands. Left foot plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale to up dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. Now we're going to cycle through a couple more vinyasas, unless you just want to hold down dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, drop and hover. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, roll it back. Again, inhale, plank, shoulders stack over wrists. As you exhale, shoulders cross beyond the wrists to lower. Blooming into your back bend before sailing back to downward facing dog. Be here and breathe here. Let this replenish your face. Let this help to reboot the mind. Let this help to lubricate the body. Inhale, we're stepping the right foot to the top of the mat. Rounding the back heel. Circle the left arm up first, then the right, and reverse the warrior. Exhale, side angle. Arm above or across the ear, your choice. Inhale to side warrior. Exhale to side angle. Your lower body is your foundation. Keep it firm, keep it steady. And maybe testing the waters. Is it possible to drop the right hand to the mat? On this next side angle, hold it. Refine your alignment. Refine your breath. And affirm, I am a fountain of boundless energy and power. Gaze down, spin off the back heel, separate your hands. Springboard the back foot forward. Lower the head and heart. Anytime we're holding a pose a little bit longer, that's when you want to create that oneness and communion with your breath. Inhale to the top. Upward worship. Exhale, we're coming right back down to Uttanasana. Inhale, left foot's gonna step back, but the back heel's gonna drop down. When you're ready, straighten out the right leg, lift the right arm. Exhale, coming down to Trikonasana, your triangle pose. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, bring it back down. Let's do one more. Pausing when you rest to the shin, left arm up. Fingers flayed. Eyes open. So this is one of the linear lines of sacred geometry, creating this triangle. There are numbers that are very significant. 3 of those that Tesla often promoted, 3, 6, and 9. Now gaze towards your front foot, lunge that knee, and spin out. Good, right foot plank. Flow through the vinyasa. Even though we call this a vinyasa, it's not the true meaning of vinyasa. But anybody that takes a flow class knows what I mean. All right, this is an opportunity to take 2 more of those. Power of 3. If you need child's pose, if being on the hands is too much to hold down dog that long, you're welcome to drop into that pose. Once you've cycled through those vinyasas, meet me in down dog. We'll move to triangle with the left foot in the lead. Right foot burrows down to the floor. Right arm up, left hand to the, oh, we started here. Sorry. We did start here. Thank you for that. I saw somebody in my peripheral view come up like this, so thank you. Exhale, triangle. Inhale, draw it up. Exhale, cascade down. We'll do that one more round. You guys are doing great with staying stacked over that front leg. Now hold it. Maybe even affirming energy and joy flow down to me. Cast your gaze down, lunge that front knee, hands down, spin off the back heel. Bring the back foot forward and lower it back in. Inhale to upward worship. Exhale, holding from the hips. On your next breath, we're going to step back to plank first. We're going to run through chaturanga, up dog, down dog, pausing here. Take a moment now to drop to your knees. 2 things while we're here. 1, if you're going to use a block for half moon, you're going to find your block that may be somewhere else and put it towards the top of your mat. Then from here, we're going to go through another exercise. The right leg is going to shoot back, the head is held up. And then as we exhale, we contract and curl in, rounding out the back. Inhale. And if you wanted to step this up from down dog and do cheetah, you can amp it up. But it's Monday morning and I feel like me on the knees. This time, once you extend, lower the right knee down. And then inhale, left leg back, head up. Exhale, contract and curl in. And then continue this repetition. This time, once you extend out, the exhale will land the knee. Good. Now curl the toes, launch into downward facing dog. Inhale, the left foot's gonna step forward, ground the back heel, come up to stand. All right, you guys have done this with me before, but just to give you a visual as a reminder, could you swap just so you don't get confused? Yeah. Normally I wouldn't care, but since we don't do this too often, I don't want it to mess you up. Okay, so what we're gonna be doing, triangle, but watch me first. The right arm will circle back, down, lengthen, open, and then we're gonna hold this. And then we're gonna come out the same way. So we've got that circular movement with the shoulder we've been working with as we transition between those postures. It's really fun. It feels really, it feels like poetry in the body. You may feel a little like ballet element to it. So open your arms. Go ahead and bring the left hand down, right arm up. All right, right arm swoops past the hip, skates past the foot. Remember, your left hand can be on a block, but it's offset of the pinky toe, and then you gently roll open to your right. Flex that top foot. Hold and breathe. Good, right arm overhead. Point the right foot. Lunge the left knee. Dip the back toe to the floor. Transfer the left hand to the shin as you plant the back foot. Let your arm circle back and come up overhead. Good. Guess what? We get to do it again. Okay. Arm rotates down. Lunge the knee. Now, if you need to pause here, say if your balance is off, you can look down. Or you can roll all the way open into Ardha Chandrasana, yogi's choice. Right arm forward, gaze down. Lunge the left knee, dip the back foot to the floor, transfer the left hand to the shin, right arm rotates back. We've been doing 3, why not do the 3rd? Let's go ahead and roll that right arm down, lunge the knee. Not many classes, we get 3 half moons in. Good, right arm over. Lunge the knee, dip the back foot down, transfer the hand. Right arm up. Beautiful. Drop into the lunge where you can step into your plank. And if you want that vinyasa, take it. We're not doing 3, just 1. Inhale, right foot steps through. You may want to transfer that block to the other side. Solidify the left foot and come up. By the way, everybody's good with thick blocks. Okay, good. The thin blocks can be a little off-putting when you're trying to balance. When you land in triangle, your left arm circles back. Slowly comes down. Make sure your toes are turned to face the top of your mat as you land to the right hand. Stretch out through your left limbs. and then maybe roll open into the pose. Left arm over the ear, point the back foot, lunge the front knee, back foot descends, hand transfers, and the left arm circles back and up. Reforming your triangle. Then bring the circle in, circle the left arm, lunge the knee, balance. Left arm over, lunge the knee, back foot descends, hand transfers, and the left arm circles back. That was 2, right? Thank you. Power 3, let's go. We're holding that half moon a little bit longer. When you're ready to exit, try. And then look down, lunge that front knee, stand on your palms, right foot plank. You want the final vinyasa. We're still getting 3 vinyasas in the mix. We just didn't do them all in a row. We did 3 in each Surya Namaskara, 3, 6, 9. Come down to your knees. Fold back into child's. Take rest, take pause, close the eyes. You're ready. Slide your hands back. And slowly come up. All right. We ready? That was our warm up for the group positions we're gonna do. Okay. So I know not everyone wants to be in the video. Okay. But I want this to be filmed so that they can see the beautiful shapes. So how can we do this? Do you want to make a circle around? Well, do you want to make a circle around the computer or have it sitting there and we just create a circle here in front? I'm thinking if we did it around it and some people could be on the other side that don't want to see.
I don't mind, I just didn't want to be funny.
Yeah, yeah. So you're okay with it? Is everybody else okay with it? Cool, all right, let's come over. That way you don't have to move anything either, but you will need your blanket for this. If you didn't grab a blanket, you're gonna want one since we're on the wood floor. You're gonna want it folded in half. And we're gonna sit on the edge of it. And we're gonna create a circle. And if you could leave a little space there, just so that you can see. And we're gonna have to kind of close in a little bit. See if this works. This is gonna work. Okay. Beautiful. Inhale, we're lifting the arms up. We really should do this sometime with the area. Yeah. It would be beautiful. Flex the feet. Draw the navel in and up. And then exhale, we fold. Look at that. We're all touching our toes. Barely. That is not the goal of yoga, but it's impressive. All right, inhale, bring it up. So I want you to notice just the beautiful shapes that we're creating as a group. Good, the hands are gonna come now behind the back. Lean into your palms. Now point your toes
Get the weight in your heels, and then you're tucking and lifting. And look at the shape before taking your head back. Breathe into Purvottanasana, and then exhale, slowly land your seat. Beautiful, arms reach out and up. Like synchronized yogis. Exhale, hinge forward. So I'll be honest with you, I learned all of this through Yoga Kids program. But adults love it just as much. And it's very kaleidoscopish looking. Inhale, bring it up. Good, exhale. This time, let's bring the hands through the center. Take it back, same as before, toes point, heels land, inhale, lift, Purvottanasana. And breathe. Exhale, land into the hips. And then come back up to sit. All right, we're gonna bend the knees this time. And I'm just gonna a little slightly closer. Hands are gonna be behind the back. So Cindy and I actually prefer when we do Ashtanga, when we do that Purvottanasana, that reverse plank, we prefer reverse tabletop. Okay, so now we get to do the one we prefer. So the hands are behind the back and the fingers can turn towards you or away from you. But we're tucking and lifting, same kind of way. I really wish we had an area over here. Yeah, look at the shape. And then hang the head back. All right, left leg lifts like we did with bridge. Good, you're gonna lean it and just barely touch your knee. Good, inhale up. Good, exhale, foot down. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, send it to your neighbor. Isn't that pretty? We're doing pretty poses. And then lower. Take the weight off your wrist. We can rotate the wrist too. Since we've been doing circles today, rotate them several times one way, several times the other way. All right, we're gonna need the blanket for this too. You're going to open it up. Come back to sit on it. Separate your feet. And your arms go to the inside. So we can start. So hook your arm under your calf. Underneath this one under. And then we'll all do it. So your arms go under your legs. And then we'll hand hold to help each other balance. That's pretty cool.
Everybody.
And it's pretty. And then flex your feet. Draw the navel and the heart up. Yes. This is called blossoming lotus. It really does look like a lotus, especially when we're grouped together. And then exhale, you guys release. No one's actually on film right now. You guys release your feet down. And, you know, the normal way we do it is like this, you know. That can be difficult, especially for people in gentle class, but they're able to do it in group. Yeah, it's very supportive. All right, we're gonna spin around and be on the knees. This is actually my favorite one. We're gonna hold hands. And yesterday I even talked about, wow, like, this is new. It's been a while, right? This has been a while since we like came together as a group and were able to like hold hands. It's kind of a big deal. So just enjoy that. Close your eyes for a moment and connect and feel that person's hand and their energy, knowing they had a pure intention for being here today for their own health and well-being, and how you are a part of this community.
And it's nice that we have Jen here that's opened this space up for us to commune in. And now let's pose together. Inhale, arms lift, arch back, shift your thighs towards the center. And then exhale, you're coming down like child, but you're keeping your hands held up. All right, let's flow with the breath. Inhale, it's like the sunflower blooming. And Ustrasana camel, and exhale to child. Beautiful, let's do 3 more. Breathing together, posing together. Last time. Then release your hands. And drop into child's pose, what we began with today. Breathe into your back body, especially after doing those camel poses. Then inhale, slowly start to sit. Refold your blanket. Sit on the edge, and let's make the circle just a little wider. Have to change the music because I have something planned. So while I'm trying to find the song, some of you have done this with me before. But you know the song Ramadasa Sase So Hum. Let's start to play it. This is a healing mantra. And it's been really cool over the years introducing people to this mantra and how they've used it. For instance, Betsy in the Gentle class, she had a niece going through cancer who unfortunately did pass away, but she shared this mantra with her niece, and her niece loved her voice and knew that was meant to be a healing mantra, and she listened to it a lot. So even if it didn't heal her disease, it brought her comfort. It brought her peace through that transitioning. And the first time I was introduced to this mantra was in a sacred circle. And it was at Kundalini Rising when it existed. And we did a practice so that we could form our sacred circle. And you guys, it was about 70% women and about 30% men. And we had done the practice, we got in the circle, we were singing it, and in Kundalini Yoga, they all know the mantras because they use a lot of mantras, and they knew it, they had it memorized, they were singing it. It was so beautiful, and it struck your heart so strong. The men were the ones that were in the circle, like boo-hoo crying, like loud crying, like breakdown crying. And it was the women who were holding the space for the men. It was really powerful. And it was powerful because men are usually our rock and women are usually the emotional ones. Not that men aren't emotional, because they can have their outbursts, right? They have their own kind of emotions. But it was really interesting to see it on the flip side. The first time I ever did this at Half Moon, guess who was there? Our beautiful Aussie, Rebecca.
I still remember.
She was the only one. I always invite people. to go into the middle of the circle if they're really needing healing for themselves. And if you're not really needing healing for yourself, then you're holding the space and you're sending the healing to everyone here in the circle, and especially those that need it and are being vulnerable enough to sit inside the circle. So she didn't know anybody. It was one of her first classes. It was her first class with me. And she just, I think she laid down. Did she lay down on her back? Because I usually say you can either lay down or sit. And I think she laid down on her back. She stayed there the whole time. She walked out of that class in tears. And she said, this has forever changed me. And she became a teacher. And she, if you haven't been to her class yet, she's amazing. She's like very much into affirmations. She's very much like a motivational speaker.
She gave away free shirts.
Yeah,
she did. Yeah.
We all got free
She's a-
shirts.
yeah.
What's the
I
name?
have, and she gave me one. It says, I am worthy. I still have it. So I'm just saying these examples because this can be a powerful moment if you drop in and if you like get real with it. And what we do is we have the hands open, right? Because the hands being open are giving and receptive. You're giving and receiving. And the elbows kind of close in towards your ribs. Now, there were a couple people yesterday when I did this, their arms got tired and they just set their hands down. That's okay too, but typically it's done like this. Typically you want to imagine your heart is pulsing with a beautiful, like green, healing light. You can also use pink. Pink is a secondary color for the heart chakra. So let's sit up nice and tall and let's begin. Oh, by the way, Ra means sun, Ma means moon, Da means earth, Sa means the infinite one, or the greater intelligence, or God, great spirit, whatever name you want to give it. Sa, Se, So, Hum means may we merge with the infinite one who created the sun, the moon, and the earth. So you can just sit and receive and listen, or you can begin to chant it out, and I will turn it up. This is Stockholm 4. Imagine that green or pink healing light stemming from your heart and moving out to your hands, being inclusive in the circle and even beyond. If you know of anyone or any group or any situation that needs some healing energy, or it's just a little sprinkling of some extra light and love, picture them or that now. Seal it here at the heart. We'll seal up our practice, honoring and respecting each other's soul, each other's light and love that we hold in our own hearts. Namaste. Namaste. Almost there.